Hi, Eric, can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Uh, Okay, so before we start, is there anything that you have questions about what we're gonna do? Like something that you know that you need to know?
Well, I'm just being thrown into this right now, so I really don't have any questions. I really don't know what to ask.
Okay, so they haven't really taught you anything about what you need to do in regards of this payroll thing?
No, just whatever you sent me, and then they introduced us. That's
Okay,
like all the training I've had so far.
okay, so from the paper that I sent you, you read it, right? And
The the email, right?
yeah, the paper that you signed that I sent you,
Yeah,
you read it?
yeah. I'll go over it.
O- Okay. Uh, so that's like the entire process since you start the new hire. You know,
Mhm.
did have they told you about all of the paperwork that needs to be done yet?
I've done some new paperwork with Colton.
Okay, so we don't need to cover that, do we?
No, I'm
Okay,
pretty confident with that.
okay. So in that specific point, in that specific regard, what you really need to remember is that paperwork gets sent right away before payroll is due. That way, Leslie, she's on time to put in all of that information into her system, and she doesn't get bucked up, right? So,
Yeah,
so that's one of the things that we need to prioritize when we get new hires. When you have a new hire and their paperwork is incomplete, you know, like I mentioned on the paper, I usually don't put their hours on that pay period, but I put
mm,
them on the next pay period. So your friend is the worksheet that I named WS TM, which stands for worksheet to match hours. So that's where we do all the balancing of the hours that we need to remove. So the hours that you need to add from that they weren't paid on previous periods. So that paper, that sheet is your friend because that's where
okay,
we explain Leslie what we're doing and what we accomplished, what we need her to know, right?
okay.
Okay. Uh, so I have opened up the screen from Social Sketches, and I want to go over this with you because I think, like I said, I cannot emphasize this enough to all of our managers, everybody in San Francisco here. We do this system on Social Sketches, and I they learn when with the videos that I text you the other day. With those two videos, they learn how to do their own.
Mm,
But you have a little more to learn since you're new at this, right?
yeah,
So I want to start with this everyday routine, right?
okay.
So if you see on the screen that I have here, I have a list of time cards for your restaurants for August 23rd, which is yesterday. And it shows me all of the time cards. You can select the columns that you want to see. And this is for you to play around with. I'm just gonna leave it like this, but maybe on your own time you can, like I said, you can play around and see what kind of information you have, what kind of information you need and you do not need. Um, if you notice here on the list, I have some time cards that I flagged.
Mm,
I have them flagged, and I want to explain this. I think it's important, it's crucial that we know. I don't know how Colton is uh, documenting his penalty hours that he gives to people, but he's giving very, very, very few. I think he's just throwing them out there. I don't know. But so I flagged this because they have to have a penalty hour. So have a
Penalty hours would be considered what? Anything past their schedule time?
no, the penalty hour is when they don't take their breaks.
Hmm.
When they don't take the breaks, then you have to give them a penalty hours. And I'm going to show you here how I come up with those penalty hours, right? So here, the first thing I notice is how long did it work? 6 hours and 1 minute. They have a 12-minute pay breaks and no unpaid breaks. The unpaid breaks will be the meal break, 30-minute break.
Yeah.
So once an employee passes 6 hours of work, they have to have two 10-minute breaks and one meal break. And so
Yeah.
if they miss the unpaid break, then you have to give them a penalty hour. And so how do I, so again, everything flagged, they have to have a penalty hour. You see this person here, Eric Nunez, no breaks at all. And so they have to have a penalty hour. How do I give them a penalty hours is, I'm gonna do Eric. So you open the time card in question, and then I'm gonna add an allowance in a note. So this is for me to give them a penalty hour. And on the cost, I'm gonna put a 1. And on the notes, the manager notes, I'm gonna put 130 NT, which stands for the first 30-minute break not taken.
Okay.
Okay, and that I save. And so once I go to over all of the time cards and I give to all of the employees, if I have to give them penalty hours, then I do that. And this is day by day by day by day by day, right?
So what do the penalty hours do?
The penalty hour is that the company has to pay them an hour of their time because the company failed to give them the proper breaks.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I emphasize to my managers is that they have to take their half-an-hour breaks because they have to punch out their breaks. Some people they take it and they don't clock out for them because whatever reason. We're not watching them or any reason, you know. And so this is where it gets a little hard on you as a manager because if you have a lot of penalty breaks, you know, Gabriel's gonna be like, why do you have so many penalty breaks? Because they're not taking their breaks. Why are they not taking their breaks? And so that's pressure on you. So
Yeah.
it's important that we do this every day. Watch the time cards and watch for people who have not clocked out on the
Yeah.
previous day.
Yeah. I just know with our system, people clock out other people by accident, like a lot of times.
Right. So that happens, right?
Yeah.
And so I understand. Um, we went through that as well. All of my employees, every restaurant's employees, they went through the same ordeal. Unfortunately, you know, like there's nothing I can do about that, but we just have to be vigilant and take notes. Okay, so let's say that this person was clocked out by somebody else. How do you know is here? But you open the time card, see, you view the full details, and then it shows you all the pictures of the same
Mm.
person, right? And that's how you know, like, okay, yes, somebody clocked them out. So if let's say that that somebody clocked them out legitimately by mistake, so all you gotta do is come back here and hey, okay, so somebody gave you, I'm gonna clock out. I'm gonna document the other break that you missed, the breaks that you missed, and I'm gonna make sure that they get the right amount of hours that they worked. But then you're doing it, you as a manager, you're doing it, you're on it, and so
Yeah.
that fixes your time and attendance books, your time and
Okay.
attendance. That fixes everything for you for the company.
Okay.
Okay. But yes, unfortunately, I cannot do nothing. There's something that I did with one of the restaurants here. They asked me to maybe make the fonts bigger on the screen of the tablet on the kiosk. And so you can do that by playing around with the settings of the tablet itself.
Okay, good idea.
Okay.
So,
That gives you a list with greater fonts. And so that makes it easier for everybody.
yeah.
Okay. Um, so there was another thing that I noticed. I'm going to select this current period. And then I'm going to start scrolling. And there's a couple of time cards that I remember. Okay, so one is Solomon something. Solomon, that he didn't clock out. The time card has like 20 something hours. Another one was Navor something Navor or Mexico. Anyway, we're gonna get to Navor. There we go. You see this? He has 21 hours and 29 minutes. So what you have to do is, of course, you got to make sure that you change the clocked out time. And once you clock it out, once you change it, it will change the duration paid. When you see the pay duration to something that is reasonable, then you're good. Then just save it.
Okay.
So this one, again, I noticed this one, remember that. You're gonna
Yeah.
change it. I'm not gonna change it. Navor Massas, right? And it's on the 16th of August. And then the other one, Salomon Mateo, there we go. Again, 21 hours, 28 minutes. So then again, you just change the time out in a reasonable amount of hours, and then you're good. And so once you get into the habit of checking the time cards every day, this is not gonna catch up with you on payroll time, on payroll day, on the 1st or on the 16th, because you're gonna be racing against the clock. Leslie gives us a timeline. She wants the worksheets done by 8 o'clock in the morning, so you don't get behind dealing with all these time cards. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Makes
All right.
sense.
So let's say that I'm gonna do my payroll, right? So I got the date selected, the 16th to the 31st, whatever. So I'm gonna do this the current days, and I'm just gonna download, export, custom, and then you edit the columns. You don't have to have them all selected. You can. I normally just select location, not the address, not department, not the section, not this, duration, pay breaks and pay breaks, standard hours. I don't want this, 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 I don't want this. All of this is extra information. You can leave them there if you want. It doesn't hurt. And I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to export them. And what we're doing right now, it's on those two videos that I sent you.
Uh-huh.
And not here. I'm gonna open the file that we downloaded in Excel, and I'm gonna, come on. So Excel. Can you see my Excel file now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we downloaded right now. So I'm going to
Okay.
convert it into an Excel table by pressing Control and the letter T as Thomas, and that selects the entire all of the data that we downloaded, and we said, okay, we leave it as this, and we click OK. I'm going to make it easier for me on my eyes by changing how it looks like on the screen. And here I'm going to insert a column, and I'm going to name this last first name. And then here I'm going to put in a formula equals last name ampersand comma ampersand that, and then so you can read the formula, right? And you pretty much know what I'm trying to do here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you do understand all these Excel things, right?
Yeah, I understand you're making a formula.
Okay, so before I finish with the formula, let's say I'm just done, and I'm gonna press Control Enter, and that's gonna populate the rest of the rows in this table. You see?
Okay.
And then I'm going to go to the very last on the right, next to the tips, and I'm gonna type meal. That's for one meal for everybody, every shift. Equals one, control enter, boom. So that's my counting for meals for later. Is gonna give me a total of how many meals per person. Okay, so I'm done with this part. I'm gonna press insert pivot table. And then I'm gonna leave everything as is, press OK. So can you see the second sheet or not?
No, I don't think so. I see sheet one.
Yeah, on the sheet one. Okay, gotcha. So here what I do, and now this is where the magic appears, right? So I'm gonna start selecting columns. Last, first name, position, standard hours. You would probably have a total overtime. Come on. Weekly overtime. Oh no. Okay, so the weekly overtime and the daily overtime, we're gonna have to add them together. We're gonna have to add those two values. And how am I gonna do that? By well, I can go back here. Daily overtime, weekly overtime. Now these two columns, I'm gonna have to add them. Normally, I will have a column that says total overtime 150% and a total overtime for 200%, and I don't see them. So that means that I have to add them. OT hour. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Equals weekly plus daily. Control enter and give me everything. And I'm gonna go back to the sheet one. You can see the sheet one, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
So the new column that I made, it doesn't show here. I have to refresh. Alt F5. And now I got the OT hours. You see that? So I got standard hours, overtime hours, and then the double time hours. I got the tips, I got the meals, and I got the penalty hours that we just gave to certain people, remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm gonna make it easier for us to read. I'm gonna put regular hours, OT hours, PT hours, cash tips, meals, and penalty hours. Oh, come on. Okay, so the subtotals for every person that has a subtotal, I don't want to see that. I'm gonna put do not show. On the report layout, I do as a tabular form, and it's much easier for me to read. You can print this paper, and then from here you grab these hours by the column and put them on Leslie's worksheet. Which, by the way, let me open it so you can. I mean, you already seen it, right? The worksheet that everybody signs. when they get
Yeah.
their checks. Okay, so in that worksheet, right? So now, um, so you can see the sheet that she sends, right? I downloaded and I got a clean one, right?
Mhm.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So what I was saying on that paper that I sent you is like she has a default position for everybody. Now, in this case of people that have two positions, that they work two positions, like I was saying on the second row, it will scream at you. It's like, okay, on this row, give me the hours that this person works as a manager, right? And most of them, you know, they only have one position, so she doesn't bother to put what position that is. If we talk about this guy, Manuel, Manuel Chalks, he works as a butler and assessora on your schedule. Your schedule is with two positions, but on Leslie's, she only has one. So what do? We just add those hours and put them there on the same row.
Okay.
Okay. So then pretty much that's what you fill up. Regular hours, overtime hours, double time hours, cash tips. The PTO, you're gonna have to record it somewhere in your office, in your computer. Remember to send all the PTO requests to Leslie before payroll, and then she will have them paid. Again, provided that this person has available hours. Otherwise, she's not gonna pay them. On the
Yeah. Okay.
meals, on the meals, you know, I got the meals here, but you're gonna skip the ones that I'm gonna send you a list for these persons. Like those persons, they don't pay, so we don't charge them for the meals. So you're gonna skip them when you get to them on this list. Okay. Your penalty hours right here, like Alonso has 2 hours, so then you're gonna put him on this column. Okay. Okay. Um, any questions so far?
Once we're done with this little thing, I just need you to show me how to export all the information one more time.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the exporting right now. Let's see. I'm gonna go to my browser and I'm gonna go to Harland. Now your screen is gonna look different than mine because I have access to everybody, but you only have yours for Sunset, right?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go to Sunset and I'm gonna go to the reports section. I'm gonna put the dates for the 16th to the 23rd because that's what we're working on today, but you will normally do 16th to the 31st.
Okay.
And then run tips and payouts. I sorted by last name and then I export it as a PDF. And when you do that, this total column, those are the tips that each person that you're going to record come on, not here. So the total column, you're gonna record that right here, credit card tips. Okay,
Okay, I see that.
okay. So the file that you downloaded, you're gonna find it on your downloads folder, and then you're gonna resave it to your current period folder where you're gonna save all your files that you need for this period. And I sent you the structure, the naming conventions for these files. Remember that?
Mhm.
Okay. So this is one of the reports that you save. The other one that you save is a payroll summary. I really don't know why they want this, but because this is kind of irrelevant, but they want it, so you're gonna have to do it. Make sure that the tips and sales detail is turned on. Export as PDF, and then again, save it on your folder. The other one that you need is time clock. Now this time clock report is important because this is the only report that shows you all of the breaks that they were taken and they are recorded. So this is where how you get them. When you turn on the show breaks and it shows you all the breaks that this is the record that they were taken. This one you're gonna save it as a CSV, and then you open it in Excel and just save it as Excel format. You got that? Okay. And
Yeah.
then again, the naming convention. This is the time and attendance, the TA audit, time and attendance audit in Excel. Okay. So those were three. And then the one that we downloaded here from Social Sketches, that's four. The file that Leslie sends every pay period, that's 5. And the worksheet to match ours, let me show you how I did that. So like I was saying, just save it as an Excel template. You know how to do that, right?
Can you just show me double quick?
Okay. So I have it as an Excel template. So so let's say that you're gonna have it on your computer, and I'll send it to you, and then you're gonna go File, Save As, and here you're gonna find Excel template.
Okay.
So what this does is that every time you come here and you do File New, you're gonna create a blank workbook or what we just created, a worksheet to match our template. And so you double click on that and come on.
Maybe you already have one open.
Let's see. New worksheet to match our, there we go. So that gives me a brand new file with the number up on top. This means that you haven't saved this file. So then you're gonna do save as, and then put it on the folder that you're working on. And then 08-2023, number 8, worksheet to match ours. That's an Excel workbook. And then so here I'm gonna put it number 8. This is where, like I was saying, your magic is gonna come up with come on, where's your time cards. Now again, we're back at the time cards that we downloaded from Social Sketches, right? Right now it's a comma separated value, it's a CSV file. So we're gonna have to save it as an Excel file. Excel workbook 08-23-2024 Social Sketches of time cards payroll summary. And so now it's an Excel file. Are we good in here?
Trying to grasp it all.
Okay. So worksheet to match ours. We're gonna, from here, we have our totals, right? 1,553, 1,553, double times 1084. No, come on. Overtime 6847, double time 1084. Declared tips is I think it's cash tips. Nobody declared any tips. Total tips, you take that from the PDF file that you downloaded earlier. Remember tips and payouts?
Mhm.
Okay. So once you're done populating, this file, Leslie's worksheet, you're gonna grab the totals from the bottom here, and you're gonna put those right here. In every column, you have to have 0 as a difference. Let's say the register, AM register has hours. So you're gonna do minus 45 hours or whatever hours they have. And this is like what I was trying to say. This is where you balance all your hours. Some person didn't finish their paperwork, but they have hours. Leslie's, she might not be able to pay them. So I'm gonna put the employee's name, new employee, and then on the bottom I'm gonna put incomplete paperwork. Now, I'm only gonna do this incomplete paperwork because let's say that the employee has been stubborn and you've been bugging them. I need your paperwork. I need your paperwork. I need your paperwork, but they don't bring it to you.
Yeah.
When they're stubborn like this, so payday comes and like, where's my check? Well, I've been bothering you with I need your paperwork and you never brought it to me, so I cannot issue a paycheck.
Okay. Quick question. Why is AM registered negative 45?
Because let, let's say perhaps Scott or you, Eric,
Uh,
the managers they have their salary managers. You're on the schedule on social schedules and you decide to clock in. Now there are reasons why you need to be clocked in, but so you are clocked in, and because you are clocked in, your hours are gonna show up. Your hours are gonna show up here. Let's see if I have anybody. Manager Denia.
because if I sign in from the iPad, is that the same thing as going from the socials sign in iPad?
When you sign in on Harland at the register, when you sign in on Harland, it doesn't go to social sketches. But when you sign in on social sketches, it goes to Harland.
Okay, yeah, because I've been doing just Heartland because Colin told me I didn't have to sign in.
Yeah, again, it's just for any reason that like you or Scott. Scott had hours on the previous pay periods, so I have to remove these hours, right?
Okay.
If your hours were to show here,
So the removal is only if the hours show.
right, and only for let's say for salary managers, I don't need to count your hours because you're paid by salary, so that's why I
Yeah.
have to remove them.
Okay. But if I only sign in on like Heartland, the hours won't reflect on there, so I wouldn't have to do it.
Okay, but let's forget about Harlem because we're not taking hours out of Harlem.
Okay.
We're taking the hours out of social sketches. So if hours show up on social sketches that belong to you, then we need to remove them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. And so that's what I was saying. This is where the magic happens to balance your hours, to balance your tips, to balance anything that you need to do with new employee. And then the next period comes and then you say you put their name and then last period hours. And then you're gonna add a positive because these are the hours that this person didn't get paid on last period. So you
Mhm.
adding them to this paycheck, she will probably issue 2 paychecks. She knows what to do. Okay.
Okay.
Um, So I mean, it's a little too much to grasp on one day, but I'm always a phone call away. If you have questions, I can help
Yeah.
you.
No,
Uh,
yeah, I understand like the functionality of it, but just like, me being able to do it is a whole different thing.
and so at the same point, I knew that you were you were gonna be a general manager's, I think at the beginning of this month, and
Yeah,
so
this is Scott's last weekend.
right, and so I was kind of like running against the clock too. I had to say to Gabriel, like, why are we not training Eric to do payroll? I mean, if he's gonna take over, why are we wasting our time?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so and again, if
Because I
filling up,
think I think
uh-huh.
Colton's been doing it, right? For the one here.
No, I have been
Oh,
doing it
you have?
for, yeah, I have been doing it since Chris Justin left.
Oh, so Scott never learned.
No, he didn't learn to do it.
Oh, okay.
Um, and so the only reason why I'm here doing this, helping you, is because in LA you're the only restaurant that's using social schedules. The other restaurants are not using it, so they cannot help you with social schedules. They're not doing payroll, time and attendance on social schedules. Uh, the store on Highland, on Hollywood, they're using social schedules, but only for the scheduling. So they can only help you so much, but I am the one that has actually trained all the managers up here in San Francisco.
You guys use social schedule?
Yes, everybody in San Francisco, the other four restaurants, we use social schedules. Yes.
Huh. Interesting how they're all different.
We use social schedules for what I just showed you for everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, it's just a habit. I think it's very important that we all do the daily routine, I called it. Catch who didn't clock out and, just do your edits. Make sure you document and penalty hours. I don't know how, if Colton wants to do it properly or not, but I don't see, you know, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. If he
Yeah. Well,
tells
I
you,
feel like
if he tells
yeah, I
you
feel like the proper
differently,
way.
you know, um, there's a
Yeah, I
lot
mean,
of penalty hours that they need to be assigned, and Gabriel's gonna bark like, why they have so many hours?
yeah.
What I,
No, I
what you
understand,
really
but
need, what you really need to get on to with your employees is like they're not clocking out their meal breaks,
yeah,
and it's a lot of them.
yeah. Okay. How have you guys been doing it previously? Like recently?
How we've been doing it,
Yeah, you guys been marking all the penalty?
the penalty hours, just the way I showed you, the way I show you on the screen, just
No,
like
but I'm
that.
saying you guys have been doing it, the proper way, right?
So there's the very, very right way, according to law and according to how many hours have they worked, that they're supposed to have the break before certain hour mark.
Yeah.
That's stressful for the restaurant industry because you cannot really give them a break at the 2 hour mark or at the two
No,
and a half
exactly.
hour mark. Uh, so and according to California, you have to give them a maximum of 2 penalty hours. 1 hour goes for missing the meal break. The other hour is for missing one or two of the 10-minute breaks.